Zahara's hands trembled as she stared at the text message glowing on her phone's screen. Coming to the gala with Myra. Hope you've moved on. Nath, her ex-boyfriend of 3 years. The man who'd promised her forever, then shattered it 6 months ago when she'd caught him in their bed with her former best friend. And now, he had the audacity to flaunt his new relationship at the annual Seoul Nairobi Business Summit Gala, the same event where Zahara was receiving an award for her tech startup. She stood in the hotel lobby, her emerald silk dress clinging to her curves, her light brown skin glowing under the chandeliers. People turned to look at her, they always did, but tonight their admiration felt hollow. Nath would see her alone. Again, successful, beautiful, and pathetically single. Miss Carter, a hotel staff member approached with a nervous smile. There's been a situation. The wheelchair-accessible ramp to the ballroom is temporarily blocked. We have a guest who needs assistance, and we were wondering. I'm not hotel staff, Zahara said curtly, then immediately felt guilty. Sorry, bad night. What do you need? Just someone to help escort him through the main entrance. 5 minutes of your time. Zahara glanced at her watch. She had 20 minutes before her award presentation. Fine. The staff member led her to a secluded sitting area where a man waited in a sleek, modern wheelchair. Zahara's breath caught. He was stunning. Sharp jawline, dark eyes that seemed to hold entire galaxies, black hair swept back perfectly. His tailored navy suit probably cost more than her monthly rent, but it was the sadness in his expression that struck her, a deep, resigned melancholy that made her chest ache. This is Mr. Kang Jiho, the staff member said. Mr. Kang, this is Miss Zahara Carter. She's kindly offered to help. Jiho's eyes met hers, and something electric passed between them. His gaze traveled over her face with an intensity that made her skin flush. I don't need charity, he said in perfect English, his voice low and cold. Good, Zahara replied, surprising herself, because I wasn't offering any. I was told you needed an escort to the ballroom. I'm heading there anyway. A flicker of something, amusement, respect, crossed his features. Then I accept your practical assistance. As Zahara moved behind his wheelchair, her phone buzzed again. Another text from Nath. Can't wait to see you tonight. Myra's excited too. She's wearing the necklace you always wanted. XXXX. Rage blazed through her veins. That bastard had bought Myra the diamond necklace Zahara had admired for months. Are you planning to strangle me with your bare hands, or should I be worried about something else? Jiho's dry voice interrupted her thoughts. Zahara realized she'd gripped the wheelchair handles so hard her knuckles had turned white. Sorry, ex-boyfriend drama. Something shifted in his tone. The gala. Unfortunately, he'll be there with his new girlfriend, my former best friend. She laughed bitterly. Classic story. They reached the ballroom entrance. Through the open doors, Zahara could see Nath's tall figure near the bar, Myra draped on his arm like an expensive accessory. The diamond necklace sparkled at her throat. Nath turned, his eyes finding Zahara. His smug smile made her want to scream. What happened next, Zahara would later blame on temporary insanity. She walked around Jiho's wheelchair, leaned down, and kissed him. Not a peck, a real kiss. Her hand cupped his face, and for a shocked second, Jiho went rigid. Then his hand rose to the back of her neck, pulling her closer, and he kissed her back with a hunger that made her forget her own name. When they broke apart, Zahara's heart hammered. Jiho's dark eyes had gone molten, his chest rising and falling rapidly. What, he breathed, was that? Zahara glanced toward the ballroom. Nath stood frozen, his face a mask of shock. Myra's mouth hung open. I'm so sorry. My ex is watching and God, I'm a terrible person. She expected anger. Instead, Jiho's lips curved into the first genuine smile she'd seen from him. You used me as a prop in your revenge scheme. I'm sorry, Zahara repeated miserably. That was completely inappropriate. I'll go. Wait, Jiho's hand caught her wrist gently. This ex, how badly do you want to destroy him? Zahara blinked. What? I'm asking, Jiho said slowly, his eyes glittering with something dangerous and thrilling. If you'd like to make this convincing. For the evening. You want to pretend to be my boyfriend. Why not? You clearly need one. I'm bored. And watching your ex's face just now was the most entertaining thing that's happened to me in months. It was insane, completely crazy. But as Zahara looked at Jiho, this beautiful, mysterious stranger, something reckless awakened inside her. Okay, she whispered, but just for tonight. Jiho's smile widened. Just for tonight. They entered the ballroom together, and Zahara felt every eye turn toward them. Jiho Kang wasn't just any man, she realized that as people began whispering. She caught fragments. The Kang heir, accident 2 years ago, never seen him with anyone since. Nath intercepted them immediately. Zahara, you look well. I am well, she said coolly. Nath, this is Jiho. Jiho, this is my ex, Nath. Your ex? Jiho's tone suggested Nath was a particularly uninteresting species of insect. His hand found Zahara's, their fingers intertwining. Poor decision-making on his part, clearly. Nath's jaw clenched. I don't think we've met, Mr. Kang, Jiho Kang. The color drained from Nath's face. Even Zahara, who didn't follow Korean business news closely, could see recognition and fear flash across his features. The Kang family, Myra breathed, as in Kang Industries. My family does own a few companies, Jiho said dismissively. Zahara, darling, you mentioned wanting champagne. Darling, the endearment shouldn't have sent tingles down her spine, but it did. I'll get it, Nath said quickly, clearly trying to recover. It's the least I can do for old times. My girlfriend doesn't need anything from you, Jiho interrupted, his voice dropping several degrees. Least of all your consideration, given how spectacularly you failed at appreciating what you had. The possessive edge in his voice sounded so real that Zahara almost believed it herself. Nath opened his mouth, closed it, then walked away stiffly, dragging Myra with him. That was, Zahara started. Deeply satisfying, Jiho finished. His thumb traced circles on her palm. You're shaking. Adrenaline, she admitted. I can't believe we just did that. The night's young. His dark eyes held promises she didn't understand. And I think we're just getting started. A woman in an elegant hanbok approached, bowing slightly. Miss Carter, they're ready for your award presentation. Zahara's stomach flipped. She'd almost forgotten. I have to go, thank you for. I'll watch from here, Jiho said. Go show them why you're extraordinary. Something in his tone made her believe he genuinely thought she was. The presentation blurred past. Zahara accepted her award for innovation in cross-cultural business technology, gave a speech she barely remembered, and the entire time she felt Jiho's gaze on her like a physical touch. When she returned, he was surrounded by people. They parted immediately at her approach, and she realized with a jolt that they were frightened of him. This wasn't just wealth, this was power. Excuse us, Jiho said to the crowd, and they scattered like leaves in wind. Who are you really? Zahara asked quietly. Someone who made you a deal for one evening, he replied. Are you hungry? This gala food is terrible, I know a place. You want to leave, together. Unless you'd prefer to stay and watch your ex stare at us like a kicked puppy. Jiho's smile turned wicked. Though that does have its charms. Zahara made a split-second decision that would change everything. Let's go. They left through a private exit, Jiho directing her to a car that cost more than her entire apartment. His driver appeared instantly, helping transfer Jiho with practiced efficiency. The restaurant was small, intimate, closed to the public. The owner greeted Jiho like family. How did you arrange this so quickly? Zahara asked as they were seated at a private table. I didn't, I own the building. Of course you do. They talked about everything and nothing. Jiho was sharp, funny, devastatingly intelligent. He spoke about architecture, technology, art. He asked about her business, her dreams, and actually listened. Zahara found herself laughing, forgetting this was supposed to be pretend. Why did you agree to help me? She asked finally. The real reason. Jiho's expression softened. You looked at me like I was a person, not a tragedy, not a burden, not a headline, just a person. Do you know how rare that is? Zahara's heart clenched. Your accident, that's why you're paralyzed from the waist down, yes, 2 years ago. His fingers traced patterns on the tablecloth. Car crash, my fault, supposedly, though I don't remember it. I woke up in a hospital and my entire life had changed. I'm sorry. Don't be, I've heard enough apologies. He looked up, and the intensity in his gaze stole her breath. Tonight, with you, I felt normal again, so thank you. Zahara reached across the table, taking his hand. For what it's worth, you're the most interesting man I've met in years. Careful, Zahara. Statements like that make a man hope for more than one evening. Before she could respond, Jiho's phone rang. He glanced at the screen and his face went completely blank. I need to take this, he answered in Korean, his voice clipped and cold. Zahara couldn't understand the words, but she understood the tone. Anger, shock, betrayal. When he hung up, his hands were shaking. Jiho, what's wrong? He looked at her, and the raw pain in his eyes made her gasp. I need to tell you something. About tonight. About why I really agreed to help you. Zahara's stomach dropped. What do you mean? This wasn't chance, us meeting, the wheelchair ramp being blocked. His voice cracked. My brother arranged it. He's been trying to set me up for months, and tonight he orchestrated everything. The location, the timing, even making sure we'd cross paths. The world tilted. Your brother planned for us to meet. He's convinced I need to move on with my life, so he's been staging these elaborate scenarios. Jiho laughed bitterly. I've ruined about 6 of them, but tonight when I saw you I thought maybe this time I'd play along, make him think he'd won. Zahara pulled her hand back slowly. So this whole night, the kiss, the dinner, everything, it was all part of some game. No, God, no. That's what I'm trying to tell you, it started that way, but Zahara, the moment you kissed me, everything changed. The way I feel right now, the connection between us, none of that is fake. But the setup was real. Your brother manipulated us into meeting. Yes. Zahara stood, her chair scraping loudly. Betrayal burned through her chest. I should go. Please don't. Jiho looked desperate now. That phone call, my brother just told me something else. Something about your ex, Nath, they know each other. Zahara froze. What? Nath works for one of my family's subsidiary companies. Has for 6 months. Right around when he started dating. Jiho stopped, his eyes widening. What was your best friend's name, the one he cheated with? Myra, why? Myra Choi. Yes, how do you? She's my brother's assistant. Jiho's face had gone pale. Zahara, I think we've both been played, not just by my brother, by someone who wanted us to meet for reasons we don't understand yet. Thunder rumbled outside. Through the restaurant windows, Zahara saw lightning split the sky. Her phone buzzed, unknown number. The text message had only 4 words, but they made Zahara's blood run cold. Ask Jiho about the accident. She looked up at Jiho, whose phone was buzzing too. He read his message, and the color drained from his face completely. What does yours say? Zahara whispered. Jiho's voice was hollow. It says, she's the one who killed you. The restaurant suddenly felt suffocating. Zahara's pulse thundered in her ears as she stared at Jiho, whose knuckles had gone white around his phone. What does that mean? She demanded. I've never even been to Korea before 6 months ago. I didn't know you existed until 2 hours ago. Jiho's eyes searched her face desperately, as if looking for answers written in her features. The accident happened in London. 2 years ago. I was there for business negotiations. London, Zahara's hometown. The city she'd fled after Nath's betrayal, accepting a job transfer to Seoul to escape the memories. Lots of people live in London, she said, but her voice wavered. That doesn't mean. What were you doing 2 years ago? March 15th, specifically. The date hit her like a physical blow. March 15th, the night that had changed everything. Zahara sank back into her chair, her legs suddenly unable to support her. I was driving home from a business dinner. There was an accident on the M4. Traffic was blocked for hours. I remember because... She stopped, a memory surfacing like a drowned body. Because Nath called me that night. He was furious that I was late. We had a massive fight. What time? Around 11, maybe. I don't remember exactly. Why does this matter? Jiho pulled up something on his phone with shaking hands. A news article. He turned it toward her. Heir to Kang Industries' fortune in critical condition after M4 collision. Police seek witnesses to multi-vehicle accident. The timestamp, March 15, 11:47 p.m. Zahara's vision blurred. No, I wasn't involved in any collision. I was stuck in traffic because of the accident, but I wasn't. The police report said 3 cars were involved. A black sedan ran a red light, causing a chain reaction. My car flipped. The sedan that caused it fled the scene. Jiho's voice was mechanical, reciting facts to keep emotion at bay. They never found the driver. I drive a black sedan, Zahara whispered. But I didn't run any light. I didn't hit anyone. I would remember. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Against every instinct, she answered. Hello, Zahara. The voice was female, smooth, poisonously sweet. Having a nice evening. Who is this? Someone who's been waiting 2 years for this moment. You really don't remember me, do you? March 15th, the M4. You were so distracted by your fight with Nath that you didn't even see me. Zahara's blood turned to ice. What are you talking about? I was in the car behind you. I watched you run that red light. Watched you clip Jiho's car and send it spinning. And then I watched you drive away like nothing happened. That's insane. I never... Check your email. I just sent you something. Illuminating. The call disconnected. With trembling hands, Zahara opened her email. A video file. She pressed play. Dashcam footage. Dark road, rain-slicked streets. A black sedan, her license plate clearly visible, approaching an intersection. The light was amber, turning red. The sedan accelerated instead of stopping. It clipped a silver sports car entering the intersection, sending it spinning wildly into oncoming traffic. The sedan didn't stop. It kept driving. No, Zahara breathed. No, this isn't possible. I don't remember any of this. Jiho had gone completely still. Let me see. She handed him the phone with numb fingers, watched his face as he saw the proof of her guilt, waited for the hatred, the accusation. Instead, he said quietly, "This is edited." What? Look at the timestamp. See how it jumps? Someone spliced this together. He zoomed in on the footage. And that's not how the accident happened. My car was hit from the passenger side, not the front. I remember that much at least. You remember? Fragments. The police said I might never get full memory back, but I remember the impact, the direction. His jaw clenched. This video is fake. Someone wants us to believe you caused the accident. But why? Who would? The restaurant door burst open. A man strode in, younger than Jiho, but with the same aristocratic features. His eyes were wild, desperate. "Hyung," he said in Korean, then switched to English. "Brother, you need to leave, now, both of you." "Minyu," Jiho's voice hardened. "What have you done?" "I'm trying to fix it. I didn't know God, I didn't know what they were planning." Minyu ran his hands through his hair frantically. "That woman, Myra, she approached me 6 months ago with a proposal. Said she could help you move on from the accident, help you start living again. She suggested introducing you to someone strong, successful, who wouldn't pity you." "Zahara," Jiho said flatly. "I thought she was being kind. She showed me Miss Carter's profile, her achievements, said you'd be compatible. I thought..." Minyu's voice cracked. "I was trying to help you." "By manipulating us," Zahara demanded. "I only arranged the meeting tonight. I didn't know about the rest, the texts, the video. I just found out Myra's been planning something bigger. She and Nath have been working together for months." "Working on what?" Jiho's tone could have frozen fire. "Destroying both of you." Minyu pulled out his own phone, showing them a document. Nath has been embezzling from the company, small amounts but consistent. If it's discovered, it could trigger an audit that reveals other things. Things our father did, illegal things. Zahara's mind raced. And if your family's involved in a scandal, your stock prices crash, your business partners pull out. Exactly, but Nath needed a fall guy, someone to blame for the embezzlement. Minyu looked at Zahara with pity. Your startup uses our financial software. He's been routing the stolen money through your accounts without your knowledge. When the audit happens, you'll look guilty. The room spun. That's why he pushed me to use Kang Industries systems 6 months ago. He said it would be good for business relationships. And once you're implicated, Jiho continued, following the logic with horrifying clarity, I'm connected to you. The scandal touches me, but that's not enough, is it? There's more. Minyu nodded miserably. The accident. They're going to release a full report, fabricated evidence that Miss Carter caused it, that she fled the scene, that you've been protecting her all this time because you're involved with her. We only met tonight. But by tomorrow, there will be photographs, social media posts, witnesses who'll swear you've been secretly dating for months. Minyu's voice dropped. They're going to destroy both your reputations, tank the company's stock, and in the chaos, Nath and Myra disappear with millions. Silence fell like a guillotine blade. Why are you telling us this? Zahara asked. If you helped set it up. Because I just found out what they're really doing. I thought I was helping my brother find happiness. Instead, I've trapped you both in something terrible. Minyu's eyes shimmered. And because Myra just told me that if I don't cooperate with the next phase, she'll release evidence that I knew about father's illegal activities. I'll go to prison. What's the next phase? Jiho's voice was deadly calm. Tonight, the gala. They drugged the champagne you were supposed to drink, both of you. Nothing fatal, just enough to make you disoriented. Then they were going to get you alone, take compromising photographs. Stage something that looks like Miss Carter seduced you for your money. Zahara's stomach revolted. We didn't drink any champagne. I know, that's the only reason you're still thinking clearly. Minyu glanced toward the door nervously. But they know something went wrong. They'll have a backup plan. They always do. Who's they? Jiho demanded. You keep saying they. Is it just Nath and Myra? I don't know. Myra mentioned someone else, someone who's been planning this for years. Someone who has a personal vendetta against our family. Minyu's phone buzzed. He looked at it and went pale. We're out of time. They know I'm here. You need to leave through the kitchen. There's a car waiting in the alley. A car you arranged, Zahara said skeptically. How do we know this isn't part of the trap? You don't, Minyu met her eyes. But it's your only chance. In 10 minutes, the police are going to receive an anonymous tip about a hit-and-run driver who's been hiding in Seoul. They'll have your name, your address, and fabricated evidence. You'll be arrested on the spot. Let them come, Zahara said, lifting her chin. I'm innocent, the truth will. The truth is irrelevant when the evidence is perfect, Jiho interrupted. His hand found hers. He's right. We need to disappear until we figure out who's really behind this. Trust the brother who manipulated us. Trust that he's terrified enough to be telling the truth. Jiho squeezed her hand. Zahara, I know this is insane, but I'm asking you to trust me. She looked into his dark eyes and saw something there that made her chest ache, not just fear or determination, but something deeper. In one impossible night, this stranger had become someone she couldn't imagine walking away from. Okay, she whispered. But if you get me killed, I'm haunting you. The ghost of a smile crossed his face. I'd expect nothing less. They moved quickly. Minyu led them through the kitchen where staff members carefully avoided looking at them. The alley was dark, rain beginning to fall in heavy sheets. A sleek black car waited, engine running. The driver stepped out, a woman with silver hair and a scar running down her left cheek. Get in, she said. We have maybe 5 minutes before they close the perimeter. Who are you? Zahara asked. Someone who knows the truth about the accident. Someone who's been investigating this conspiracy for 2 years. The woman's eyes were hard. My name is Detective Sarah Okonkwo. I'm with Interpol. and you're both in more danger than you realize. Jiho's phone buzzed. He looked at it and his face went ashen. Zahara, you need to see this. It was a news alert. Breaking! Tech entrepreneur Zahara Carter wanted in connection with hit-and run that injured Kang Industries' heir. Sources say secret relationship motivated cover-up. Below it, photographs, Zahara and Jiho at the gala, at the restaurant, kissing in the lobby. The images were time-stamped over the past 3 months. Impossible, all of it impossible. They're using deepfakes, Detective Okonkwo said grimly. Very sophisticated ones, now get in the car before. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. Zahara looked at Jiho. At this man she'd met hours ago, whose life was now tangled with hers in ways she couldn't begin to understand. Last chance to walk away, she said. Not a chance in hell, he replied. They got into the car. Detective Okonkwo pulled away just as police vehicles turned into the far end of the alley, lights blazing. Where are we going? Zahara asked as they merged into traffic. Somewhere safe, somewhere they won't think to look. The detective's eyes met hers in the rearview mirror. But first, I need to tell you both something about the accident, something that changes everything. What? Jiho demanded. The crash that paralyzed you, it wasn't random, it wasn't a hit and run. Detective Okonkwo's voice was grim. It was attempted murder, and Zahara's car was there that night, but not as the perpetrator. Then how? She was the target too. Someone tried to kill you both 2 years ago. The detective turned onto a highway heading out of Seoul. The question is, why? What connects a Korean business heir and an African tech entrepreneur so dangerous that someone wants you both dead? Zahara's phone buzzed. Another unknown number, another text. This one had just a photo attached. She opened it and her breath stopped. It was a picture of her parents. Her parents, who died in a house fire 3 years ago, a tragedy the police had ruled accidental. They were standing with a Korean couple she didn't recognize. The date stamp in the corner, 26 years ago. Oh my God, Zahara whispered. Jiho leaned over to look. His entire body went rigid. That's my parents, and... He grabbed Zahara's arm. When's your birthday? December 3rd. Why? What year? 2000. Jiho, why are you? Mine is August 27th, the same year. His voice shook. Zahara, how much do you know about your adoption? The world stopped spinning. My what? Those are adoption papers in your mother's hand. See the corner of the document? Jiho zoomed in on the photo. That's the seal of the Kang family lawyer. Zahara couldn't breathe, couldn't think. No, my parents were my biological parents. I have baby pictures, birth certificates. Forged it would have to be. Jiho's face was white. 26 years ago, my father had an affair with a woman from Kenya. She got pregnant. The scandal almost destroyed him. The woman disappeared and the baby... He looked at Zahara with dawning horror. The baby was given to a family in England. A family paid handsomely to raise her as their own and never speak of her origins. You're saying I'm... My half-sister, Jiho's voice cracked. Zahara, I think you're my sister, and I think someone has been trying to kill us both before we could figure it out. The car swerved suddenly. Detective Okonkwo cursed as another vehicle slammed into them from behind. Hold on, she shouted, accelerating hard. But it was too late. A truck appeared from a side street, blocking their path. They were trapped. Armed men emerged from both vehicles, surrounding them. And walking toward them through the rain, smiling like a cat who'd finally cornered its prey, was Myra. Hello, family, she said sweetly. Time to finish what we started 2 years ago. She raised a gun, pointing it directly at Jiho's chest. Any last words before I finally end the Kang bloodline? Time crystallized into sharp, fragmented moments, the rain hammering the car roof, Myra's finger tightening on the trigger, Jiho's hand finding Zahara's in the darkness. Then Detective Okonkwo slammed the car into reverse, engine screaming. The gunshot shattered the passenger window, missing Jiho's head by inches. Glass exploded inward as Okonkwo spun the wheel hard, using a precision driving technique that sent them careening backward into a narrow side street. "Get down," she shouted. More gunfire. The rear windshield spiderwebbed but held. Okonkwo executed a perfect J-turn, and suddenly they were racing forward, away from Myra's ambush. "How long have you known?" Zahara demanded, her voice raw. "About us being related." "Suspected for 6 months. Confirmed tonight." Okonkwo's eyes never left the road as she navigated Seoul's streets at breakneck speed. "Your parents' death wasn't an accident, Zahara. Neither was the fire that killed Jiho's mother a year before that." Jiho's sharp intake of breath told Zahara he hadn't known. "My mother died of pneumonia. That's what they told me." Pneumonia caused by smoke inhalation from a fire at her private villa, a fire that was ruled accidental. Okonkwo took a hard corner. Someone has been systematically eliminating everyone who knew the truth about Zahara's parentage. "But why?" Zahara's mind reeled. "If my father, our father, wanted to hide me, why would someone kill people years later?" "Because of what you inherit." Okonkwo pulled into an underground parking garage, killed the lights, and drove to the lowest level. "Your father died 8 months ago. His will contains a clause that only activates when both his legitimate children are confirmed alive and can be DNA tested." "I'm his only legitimate child," Jiho said. "No, you're not." Okonkwo parked in a dark corner and turned to face them. "Your father's first marriage to Zahara's mother, the Kenyan woman, was legal and never annulled, which makes his second marriage to your mother technically invalid under Korean law, which makes you illegitimate," Jiho finished, his face ashen. "And Zahara is the legitimate heir." "To one of the largest fortunes in Asia," Okonkwo confirmed. $70 billion, controlling shares in 14 major corporations, and enough political influence to change governments. Zahara felt like she was drowning. "I don't want any of that. They can have it." "It's not about what you want." Okonkwo's voice gentled slightly. "The will stipulates the fortune must be split between all legitimate heirs. If you're confirmed as his daughter, Jiho loses nothing. You'd share everything. But if you die before the DNA test, everything goes to Jiho as the sole surviving child," Zahara whispered. "So either Myra thinks killing us both destroys the Kang line entirely, or she's working for someone who becomes the next heir if we both die," Jiho finished, his jaw clenched. "Minyu, my brother, our half-brother, I suppose." "No." Okonkwo pulled out a tablet, showing them a complex family tree. "Minyu isn't your father's biological son. Your mother had him from a previous relationship, though your father raised him as his own. If both you and Zahara die, the fortune defaults to a distant cousin, someone who's remained carefully out of sight." She pulled up a photograph. Nath's face stared back at them. "No," Zahara breathed. "That's impossible. Nath is from Lagos. He's Nigerian, not Korean. His mother is Korean. Kang Sunmi, your father's younger sister." Okonkwo swiped to another photo, a woman who shared Jiho's aristocratic features. "She married a Nigerian diplomat 31 years ago, had a son, and was disowned by the family for marrying outside their race. She spent 3 decades teaching that son to hate the Kang family, to hate the wealth that should have been his." "Nath knew," Zahara said, her voice breaking. 3 years ago when we met in London, he knew who I was." "He's known since you were born. His mother has been tracking you your entire life, waiting for the perfect moment." Okonkwo's expression was grim. "He cultivated a relationship with you, made you fall in love with him, all while preparing to destroy you." "The betrayal with Myra," Jiho said slowly. "That was planned to push Zahara to Seoul, to bring her close enough to me that you could stage the scandal. And kill you both in a way that looks like a murder-suicide or accident," Okonkwo confirmed. "Make it seem like Zahara discovered the inheritance, seduced you to get close to the family, and when you rejected her, she killed you both. Neat, tragic, and it removes both legitimate heirs." Zahara's phone buzzed. Nath's number. "Don't answer," Okonkwo started. "I have to." Zahara's finger hovered over the screen. He'll expect me to be panicking. If I don't respond, he'll know we've figured something out. She answered on speaker. Baby, Nath's voice was smooth, concerned. I just saw the news. Where are you? Let me help. How could you? Zahara let genuine anguish color her voice. The news says I caused an accident, that I've been lying for 2 years. Nath, you know me. You know I couldn't. Of course I know. His tone was perfectly calibrated sympathy. This is clearly a setup. Come to me. I'll protect you. I still love you, Zahara. I never stopped. Even knowing the truth, his words sent a knife through her heart. 3 years. 3 years of lies. Where are you? She asked. The Kang estate in Gangnam. Minyu invited me and Myra to stay while we figure this out. It's the safest place in Seoul, private security, no press access. Come here, bring Kang Jiho, we'll sort this out together. Walk into a trap, Jiho muttered silently. But Zahara saw something in Okonkwo's eyes, a calculating gleam. Okay, Zahara said, we'll come, but Nath, I'm scared. I know, baby, but you'll be safe soon, I promise. The call ended. You want us to go there, Jiho said to Okonkwo. Why? Because the evidence we need is in that house. Your father's original will, the proof of his first marriage, the DNA evidence that confirms Zahara's parentage. It's all in his private safe. I've been trying to get access for months. Okonkwo's smile was sharp. But if you walk in as the distraught heirs seeking shelter, they'll let down their guard. Long enough for you to do what exactly? Zahara demanded. Break into the safe, get the documents, and broadcast everything before they can stop us. Okonkwo pulled out equipment from under the seat, tiny cameras, microphones, something that looked like a safe-cracking device. I'll wire you both. Everything they say, everything they do will be recorded. When they inevitably try to kill you, we'll have proof of conspiracy to murder. When they try to kill us, Jiho's voice was dry. How reassuring. I'll have a tactical team on standby. The moment things go south, they'll breach. Okonkwo met their eyes seriously. But I won't lie to you, this is dangerous. There's a real chance neither of you walks out of there alive. Silence filled the car. Rain drummed steadily on the roof. There's another option, Jiho said quietly. We run, leave Korea, disappear, let Nath have the fortune. Our lives are worth more than money. Are they? Zahara turned to him. How many other people has he killed to get here? My parents, your mother, who else? And if we run, if we let him win, how many more people will die under his control? That fortune isn't just money, it's power. Power to hurt people. You sound like you want to fight. I sound like someone who's tired of being a victim. Fire blazed in Zahara's chest. He used me, made me love him while planning to kill me. For 3 years, every kiss, every promise, every moment was a lie. She grabbed Jiho's hand. I know we just met, I know this is insane, but you're my brother, my family. The only real family I have left, and I'm not letting him take that from me. Jiho's eyes shimmered. You realize we might die. Then we die together. Dramatic, but his grip tightened on her hand. All right, let's burn his world down. Okonkwo smiled grimly. That's what I was hoping you'd say. She spent 20 minutes wiring them with equipment so sophisticated it was nearly invisible. Tiny cameras in their clothing, microphones that looked like buttons, GPS trackers injected under their skin with a spring-loaded device that made Zahara wince. The team will be watching everything, Okonkwo said. The safe word is Genesis. Say that, and they'll breach within 90 seconds. Try not to die before then. I'll do my best, Zahara said dryly. The Kang estate was a sprawling compound in Gangnam, all modern architecture and intimidating walls. Security waved them through after a phone call to verify their arrival. Nath met them at the door, his face the picture of concern. Zahara wanted to claw his eyes out. Thank God, he said, pulling her into a hug she had to force herself not to recoil from. You're safe. For now, Zahara let her voice shake. Nath, what's happening? Why are people saying these things? Come inside, we'll explain everything. The house was stunning, all clean lines and expensive art. Myra waited in the living room, her expression unreadable. Miss Carter, Mr. Kang. She gestured to plush couches. Please sit, you both look exhausted. Where's Minyu? Jiho asked, his voice carefully neutral. On his way, he wanted to speak with his lawyers first. Nath poured drinks from a crystal decanter, whiskey, amber, and probably expensive. He handed glasses to them both. You must need this. Zahara stared at the glass, remembering what Minyu had said about drugged champagne. I don't drink when I'm stressed. Makes me sick. Of course, Nath set the glass down smoothly. I forgot, some tea instead. Water's fine. Tension crackled in the air. Everyone playing their roles, waiting for someone to break character first. So, Myra said, crossing her legs elegantly, should we drop the pretense? Zahara's heart slammed. What pretense? The one where we all pretend you don't know what's really happening. Myra's smile was cold. Detective Okonkwo is very good, but not quite good enough. We've been tracking her investigation for months. The moment she picked you up tonight, we knew. Nath pulled a gun from his jacket with practiced ease. The wires you're wearing, sophisticated, but our equipment is better. Your tactical team received a false signal 20 minutes ago sending them to the wrong location. They're 40 minutes away now. Plenty of time. Jiho shifted in his wheelchair, muscles tensing. Plenty of time for what? For the truth. A new voice came from the doorway. An elderly woman entered, regal and cold. She shared Jiho's features but twisted with bitterness. Grandmother, Jiho's voice cracked. You died 3 years ago, the funeral. Was staged. The woman's smile was cruel. Did you really think I'd let my son's bastard half-breed daughter steal everything I'd built? Zahara felt the words like a slap. You're Kang Sunmi, Nath's mother. I am, and I've waited 31 years for this moment. She moved closer, studying Zahara with disgust. Your mother was a whore who seduced my brother. My father should have killed her when she got pregnant, but he was weak, sentimental. He hid you away instead. So you've been killing everyone who knew the truth, Zahara said. My parents, Jiho's mother. And soon, both of you. Sunmi nodded to Nath. My son will inherit everything that should have been mine. The Kang fortune, the legacy, and your mongrel bloodline will finally be erased. Rage blazed through Zahara. You're a racist, bitter old woman who's murdered innocent people. I'm a realist who understands purity and legacy. Sunmi's voice turned to ice. Your existence is an abomination. Your father's weakness made flesh. Killing you both is a service to the family. One problem, Jiho said quietly. You're too late. Sunmi frowned. What? The DNA tests were completed this morning. The will was read 3 hours ago. Zahara is already confirmed as the heir. Jiho's smile was vicious. Everything is recorded, filed, and sealed with the international courts. Kill us now and the fortune goes to charity. Every penny. You get nothing. It was a bluff. It had to be. They'd only learned about their connection tonight. But Sunmi's face drained of color. You're lying. Am I? Jiho pulled out his phone, showing a document. Our father knew about your plans, had known for months before he died. He couldn't stop you without proof, but he could make sure you'd never win. Zahara stared at the phone, seeing an official-looking document she'd never seen before. Jiho was gambling everything on this deception. The moment we're confirmed dead, every major news organization receives a package detailing your entire conspiracy, Jiho continued. Your murders, your embezzlement, everything. The Kang name will be synonymous with shame, and you'll spend your remaining years in prison. So please pull that trigger. I'd love to see you lose everything. The silence stretched like a tightrope. Then Sunmi laughed. You almost had me. But you see, I've been monitoring all court filings, all legal documents. There's been no DNA test, no will reading. You're bluffing. She nodded at Nath. Kill them both. Make it look like the lover's suicide we planned. We'll deal with the legal aftermath. Nath raised the gun, pointing it at Zahara's heart. I did love you, he said softly. For what it's worth, but business is business. His finger tightened on the trigger. Genesis, Zahara screamed. 90 seconds, Nath said, checking his watch. Shame your rescue team is so far away. I can kill you both 3 times over in 90 seconds. The gun fired. But the bullet didn't hit Zahara. Minyu crashed through the window in an explosion of glass, tackling Nath to the ground. The gun skittered across the floor. Go, Minyu shouted, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. I've unlocked the safe, 3rd floor study, get the documents. Myra pulled her own gun, aiming at Minyu. Jiho grabbed a crystal vase and hurled it. The heavy glass struck Myra's arm, sending her shot wide. Zahara, run! Everything dissolved into chaos. Zahara ran for the stairs, hearing gunfire behind her. 3rd floor, study, the documents that could prove everything. She burst into an office, finding an open safe. Grabbed folders, papers, a portable hard drive. Going somewhere, sister. She spun. Nath stood in the doorway, gun raised, his expression almost sad. It didn't have to be this way, he said. If you just died in London 2 years ago, none of this would be necessary. You were driving the black sedan, Zahara realized. You caused the accident. You tried to kill both of us that night. I paid someone to tamper with your brakes, paid them to make sure you'd crash at exactly the right moment, but you survived. Both of you survived. His hand shook slightly. Do you know what that's like? Planning the perfect murder and having it fail. I've spent 2 years cleaning up that mistake. By killing more people, by manipulating me into loving you. That part was easy. You were so desperate to be loved. Nath's smile turned cruel. So pathetically grateful for my attention, it was almost sad. The words should have hurt, but Zahara felt only cold clarity. You're wrong, she said quietly. I wasn't desperate, I was trusting. There's a difference, and that's why you'll lose. I have the gun. And I have something better. Zahara held up the hard drive. Every transaction, every murder you paid for, every conspiracy, it's all here, and it's already uploading to every news organization in the world. I triggered it the moment I grabbed the drive. Nath's face went white. You're bluffing, just like Jiho. She's not. Detective Okonkwo stood behind Nath, her own gun pressed to his head. Drop the weapon, now. Sirens wailed outside, real ones this time. Nath's hand trembled, then the gun clattered to the floor. How, he whispered, the false signal. Was a test to see if you were monitoring us. You failed. Okonkwo pulled out handcuffs. My team's been in position for 20 minutes. We've recorded everything. Downstairs, more police flooded in. Zahara ran back down, her heart hammering, terrified of what she'd find. Jiho sat in his wheelchair, a cut above his eye but alive. Minyu lay nearby, paramedics treating his wounds. Myra and Sunmi were already in handcuffs. Zahara's knees gave out. She sank to the floor, shaking. Jiho wheeled over, pulling her into his arms. We're alive, we made it. Your brother saved us, she whispered. Half-brother, Jiho corrected gently. And yeah, he did. Minyu met her eyes from his stretcher, managing a weak smile. Couldn't let them kill my family. 3 months later, Zahara stood on the balcony of her new Seoul apartment, watching the sunset paint the city gold and crimson. The DNA tests had confirmed what they knew. She was Kang Yi-sung's legitimate daughter. The fortune was hers and Jiho's to share. Nath, Myra, and Sunmi were awaiting trial for multiple counts of murder and conspiracy. Minyu had been cleared of wrongdoing. His cooperation had been crucial in securing convictions. You're thinking too loud, Jiho said, wheeling out to join her. Just processing. Zahara smiled at him. 6 months ago, I thought my biggest problem was a cheating ex. Now I'm a billionaire with a Korean brother and a family I never knew existed. Regret any of it? Not a second. She took his hand. Even the terrifying parts, especially those, maybe, they led me to you. Sentimental. You love it. Jiho's smile was genuine, warm, so different from the cold, sad man she'd met that first night. I really do. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Zahara's stomach clenched reflexively. But the message made her blood run cold. Congratulations on your victory, but you should know Sunmi wasn't working alone. The real architect of this plan is still out there, and they're not finished with you yet. Sweet dreams, little sister. Your eldest brother. Zahara's hands shook. Jiho, did our father have any other children? Not that I know of. Why? She showed him the message. Jiho's face went pale. That's impossible, unless there's another heir we don't know about, Zahara finished. Someone who's been watching this entire time, waiting. Thunder rumbled in the distance, a storm rolling in. And somewhere in Seoul, in shadows they couldn't yet see, someone watched their apartment through high-powered binoculars. Someone who smiled as lightning split the sky. Someone who whispered, Act 2 begins now. The phone in their hand buzzed with a single message to an encrypted contact. Initiate the succession protocol. The bastards think they've won. Time to show them what real power looks like. The response came instantly. Already in motion, the twins will never see it coming. Tell me where you're watching from. Is this the end or just the beginning? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out.